Yo, what up, Toshi here? Welcome to Etheria Restart Day 1. I have now officially finished rerolling. This was actually probably my 6th account, I want to say. I actually ended up finishing my reroll on the same email I used for the final reroll when I got Chestia on Rear Mental White Shadow, so funnily enough. Maybe this email is like super duper blessed or something. But so obviously I named myself after Lily because I wanted to obtain the character. It's very typical of me. As you can see here, the very first character I ended up getting was this Shadow Sonya chick. I saw that she was a light dark character, so I was like, you know what, I'll entertain this account. I'll continue playing on this account and see if I get anything later down the line that makes this account even better, where even if I don't have Lily, it's a really solid account. Spoiler alert, I don't have Lily on this account, unfortunately. Very unfortunate, because she definitely is the character I wanted the most, just like anybody else. But I did attain another character trying to snipe Lily that actually shocked me, because this character is like insanely meta changing, just broken, like unstoppable. You'll see just in a second. But yeah, Shadow Sonya. So I can kind of explain what she does a little bit. So you kind of have like this like dot comp centered around her because she's a damage over time buffing character essentially. She extends the duration of dots. She also detonates the dots. So she's basically Kafka. She detonates the damage over time, and then she also extends the duration of it, making her very solid for those dot comps. Now, it's really interesting how this works out in PvE, because what I noticed is that the enemies that usually have those like additional turns or take multiple turns whenever they take their turn take a ton of damage from your dots, to the point where a character like this feels pretty darn decent. And I used her with like Obol, who's like a 4-star SR character. SR character. He puts like damage over time in enemies, and I need like one more other 4-star or SR character who also puts damage over time in enemies, and then I'm set. I have my damage over time team. And I'm pretty sure this team will translate decently into PvP, especially when you take into consideration that damage over time feels pretty dang hard. Now, let's take a look at the rest of the account, because it's just the first character. So I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and do another 10 pull on the standard banner, and I ended up pulling this character. Now, when I saw the icon pop up, maybe those of you don't know, this icon right here, when I saw this icon pop up, I was like, oh my god, did I get Lily? I was hoping it was Lily and not the other character. There's like this other character with like pink hair, like not twin tails, but like two little tails in the back of her hair. And I was hoping it wasn't that character, because I ended up, she spooked me before with me thinking that the pull was Lily and it wasn't. It ended up being her, and I was like, oh my god, really? This is what I have to expect when I see this icon. But thank goodness when this icon popped up, it ended up being a different character completely. Now, this character's background reminds me a lot of, I want to say, Geto from Jujutsu Kaisen, whenever he throws out the cursed spirits, because you remember, like, he's able to like summon cursed spirits. So this reminds me of Geto, genuinely. But overall, the design looks pretty sick, and I heard he was like just broken, like one of the best characters to have in your account for PvP. Look at the tier list; he's like top of the food chain. I was like, oh my god, this is a power pool, and of course it is an even better pool because it's a light and dark. Because these characters are extremely hard to get. I don't think there's any like confirmed way of getting them other than like the raid up Messiah banner and stuff like that. Maybe if the devs are feeling generous enough, we'll have like a surprise Lily banner sometime in the future. I doubt it, but man, imagine. Rerollers will be in shambles. I know I'd be in shambles too. I'd be like, man, I could just waited. But anyways, yeah, seems like a pretty solid character. He has a bunch of damage, damage taken, increases the chance of critical hit. I heard he's decent in a team alongside Shadow Sonya, but I imagine he's just good for cleave in general. But he also has this wound here where enemies can't receive healing, which is interesting. You just have a bunch of extra debuffs you throw into the enemies. And then this last one here is block. So like you stop the enemies from buffing up, which means if you have any other debuffing characters in the team, this feels even better to use with those debuffers. So he has a bunch of extra debuffs, a bunch of damage. He just seems like an insane character for an AoE control comp. So I essentially have, and of course, you know, if you want to cleave with him too, because he increases the crit damage the enemies take as well, right? But I can use him in a control comp with like Shadow Sonya and a bunch of other dot characters. You know, maybe some advanced forward characters like Tsukuyomi if I end up pulling her from the guaranteed banner, which I probably will. And then we also have characters like, Lily I don't have, unfortunately. But any other turn-based, turn-pushing character I have on this account, then I would use them. Now, if we go to the summon here, we take a look at some of the characters. I'm going to change my targeting summon. Well, actually, I want to see, what does Lens do? Because I don't think I took a look at her kit. Wait, she was oh, wow. She can put a dot? But it's like RNG, right? Yeah, this dot is RNG. Is there any other part of her kit? No, okay. It's just RNG. Cannot trigger passive. Whoa, wait a second. That's what that is? Wait, so she throws a seal on the enemies. Huh. That seems pretty dang good, isn't it? Shield to all allies, but she seems more of a defensive character than anything because she gives attack down. That seems more valuable for a turn 2 like slower team than it is for like an AoE control team, because the shield is like kind of wasted, right? If you're trying to kill them before you even had a chance to take a turn, it seems kind of wasted. But the dot here is interesting. I do wonder. It's probably just to balance out. It's probably to balance out the skill itself, because she gives the dot silence, forgetfulness. It probably is just, wow, 4% of max HP. That's crazy. Yeah, dot is going to be extremely strong in the late game, even in the PvE. That is crazy. Well, a lot of time too, like if you look at Hawkeye Starl, damage over time isn't based on the enemy's max HP unless it's like bleed or something like that. In traditional turn-based gacha games, damage over time usually was like a percentage of the enemy's max HP. All dots, right? So I was definitely gearing towards the direction of it being that. And well and behold, 4% of the enemy's max HP. Lilith was the character I was mentioning too, when I was like, I hope I didn't get this character because she has the same icon as Lily. I didn't want Lilith. But Tsuki Yomi, we're going to change it to Tsuki Yomi, who is going to be really nice in the team with my Shadow Sonia. Definitely interested to try that team out. And I will be rolling to get this character probably first, and then just throw the rest of the summons I have on this banner later on, if I do get any more summons at this point, because I've been rolling quite a bit. I'm not even gonna front with y'all. I've been rolling quite a bit. I am a little bummed out though, because like part of me still wants to continue, like, unfortunately re-rolling because Lily exists, and I really do want that character first and foremost. But I think at this point it's kind of just like, you got 2 out of the 6. You might as well just chill out and just ride the waves. Hopefully I don't get any dupes in the future, but I'm just gonna have to just chill for a bit and see where this account takes us. Freya, I don't know how good this character is, but I've been seeing people go Pharaoh over the design. I mean, you could probably see why. She's a guardian angel with like a bunch of cleavage and a bunch of just amazing assets. All right, so I think that pretty much wraps up the characters I ended up getting. I guess I can show the last character I am building as well. If we take a look at Obel, is his name Obel? Yeah, Obel. Interesting damage over time, dude. I've been using him quite a bit with my Shadow Sonia. He throws a dot. He actually takes a turn before his Shadow Sonia, which is very nice. Well, as of right now, he does. I'm pretty sure the speed of Shadow Sonia is actually faster, but I don't have the skill ups, so he's faster than her, and he throws the dots on the enemies first, and then she either extends the duration or she detonates the dots, which feels pretty nice. I usually you want to extend the duration if you're doing PvE content. So I don't know if there's like maybe a way you can turn off a skill during a battle, but you would extend the duration of the damage over time, and then probably like later on when you have a bunch of dots stacked on the enemy is then when you would detonate it. But it's probably a lot easier to manage with in manual play versus like autoplay, because autoplay, if there is no like turn off the skill 3 or whatever, then they're going to just continuously use the skill 3, just use the skills in the worst orders possible, and just make the run just absolutely pain, right? Yeah, that pretty much wraps up my core characters and core team and all of that jazz. And then I'll definitely slot Heinrich in the team now, since I see that he's a very solid character to use, just as an overall control, debuffing, damage taking, increased character, right? As for the rest of the accounts, because I did, of course, want to make this a daily series, I guess I can give a little bit of insight as to like what to do going from here. for the most part, I've just been doing the main chapter story because this, for the most part, gives the best guidance possible. I mean, there's just so many events in the game right now. It's just kind of overwhelming. Like, you have so many events here, and then you also have this thing here. If I go back to the starting screen here, you have like, if you like click, nope, not summon. Whoops. There's like something that workstation, I think it was, not workstation. I think it's the Chaku ring, right? Chaku ring. And then there's just like so many things that are here. You just click on, like, you have like this hyperlink chart. There's just all these different like things, like the achievements and all that, challenges, and everything that you can do to get more rewards. So I have to complete all of this here. Novus 1, 2, and trial, stuff like that, master. Like module modification, even more rewards. And then you have like the Animus Fate, just even more rewards. I do wonder, is there any like crazy like rewards you get at the end? Like maybe you have like a guaranteed SSR 5-star light dark summon or something like that. That'd be insane. I don't think they would have something like that as a reward, but that'd be kind of insane, right? Here's the hoping that there would be something like that possible. Oh, I guess real quick, for those of you that are rerolling, just so you know for future record, I'll probably throw this in the beginning of the video. If you are rerolling, make sure you do. My microphone fell off my mic arm when I was talking. Anyways, make sure you redeem codes. There is 3 codes that actually give you pools. The first 3 codes, there is more codes, but the other codes don't give you pools. So for purposes of rerolling, just throw in these 3 codes. So you have Etheria 111, that's the first code. I'll have this in the description as well. Etheria 0605 is the other code. Make sure when you spell Etheria for all of the codes that has Etheria in it, you actually make it capitalized. Otherwise, the code won't work. Okay? So capitalize Etheria. And then the last one is going to be GACHAGAMING. This, including the other 2, give you a bunch of pools and a bunch of premium currency you can use for more pools. So this gives you a total of like 30 extra pools for your reroll, which makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. And then there is still no guest accounts, so you just have to delete your account, but it takes 15 days to delete the account. Unfortunately, you have to continuously like make emails, continuously make logins for the login portal for the email on this game. There's like, it has its like own email login portal if you don't want to do Gmail. And then the other one I believe was it like, I think it was like Apple or something like that. So yeah, unfortunately there is no guest accounts. But yeah, that kind of sums it up. I wish you could like get up and walk around like you would in like ZZZ or something, you know what I mean? All right, that's going to be the video here. Thank you for watching, and have a nice rest of your day. Good luck if you are still re-rolling in this game. You're going to need it. The rates are actually abysmal. I mean, we can take a look real quick at the rates, man, for like the light dark characters, because we didn't take a look at them already. Guys. Oh my gosh. Where are we? Where are we? Right here. 0.25%. Holy moly. That is astronomically low. I mean, holy, good luck. One more thing I want to mention too. I wish I did this when I first started rerolling, but you can actually use your premium currency to get more like valuable pools from the shop. If you go to the weekly pack part of the shop and your premium currency, you can convert the premium currency you get to the Crystal Supply 1 and the Crystal Supply 2, which ends up giving you more pools, and you get some extra universal currency. It's fine if you didn't do it when you're rerolling. You still can do this later. But for the purposes of rerolling, I really wish I had did this sooner, because you get light and dark pools, which, again, is 5 pools that could get you that SSR Lily or something like that. All right, that's it. See ya.